Hey there, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be working on a build for Bleak Beach. This will be a little neighborhood park. Right now I'm working with 15 by 15 areas with little micro environments that are going to be spread throughout. I currently put down felt mat for the full space and then have cloth walls in red, green, and blue. And I'm going to blueprint out each of the different types. Reds are going to be for roads. So here you can see me going through and deciding how I want my road. We're going to come in straight, and then I want to curve off because there will be another build over here. And then I'm going to find another entrance on this side. I will come down, I will start building out, and I'm going to cut up a little bit sharper than I did previously. And so now I'm going to go ahead and combine both roads, and that'll split our park into 4 different little environments. And so now I switch to blue, and I'm going to go ahead and start building out where I want our environments to be. I think that first one is going to be a little cleaning area. This one I want to be a vending machine sitting area, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure I keep a border because I want to trim this whole 15 by 15 like the rest of Bleak Beach has been trimmed out. For this section, I want a more green area, so we're going to focus on a playground, a picnic area, something where people can just kind of like sit and hang out. And for this final area, I want to set up a little park shop and put a house for a trade Pokemon to live here, so when you come to the park, hopefully they have their stand set up and you can purchase from like a little farmer's market. And finally, we're going to go ahead and switch to green. This will be for tall grasses, trees, bushes, any actual items that are nature items. Throughout this whole process, this is really just a rough blueprint to get an idea of where I want things. I'm going to tackle the individual sections independently, so I just want to block out where these are going to be and have a general idea of what I was thinking when I was making the areas. And I knew going in I was going to want a full border around the whole build, so I frequently throughout the video will go and correct kind of these mistakes where I built all the way to the edge to make sure I keep a border to separate the park from the rest of the city. Now I'm going to go ahead and fill in the road. For this I went with stone tiling. After looking at a few different blocks, I decided I really like the texture on this one, and it contrasts well with the concrete that I end up using for the non-nature areas. It's time to start our first area, which will be our vending machine and eating area. I'm going to use concrete for the floors. You'll also notice later my vending machines turn on automatically, and that's because there are power transmitters located beneath the floors. We're going to drop down a bench and 2 tables. This will be our eating area. Then we're going to drop down 2 vending machines, a recycling bin, and a bench. This area overall is pretty simple, and it also has 2 environments if you want to assign Pokemon to it. I took a little break, and so now we'll be building at night. We're going to go ahead and get started on our next area. This will be a trading area along with housing a den for a single Pokemon, most likely the trading Pokemon that I will have in this area. I went ahead and used the beach sand and grass from Bleak Beach to tie in with the surroundings, and I wanted to make sure this had more of a nature themed area than our vending machine next door. I like the Hoppip rug that we got from the event, so I went ahead and used that here, and then just set up a basic trading stand using the tables. I start playing around with some signage. I end up with the shop sign, pushed a little bit forward later on, but still in the same general area. And then I visualize how the den's gonna look, and I think I'm happy with it there. I go ahead and start dropping bushes. The main thing the bushes do for you is they actually act as a wall, so it's just like a nature wall to separate the area from the pathway. And then I found this information board that I really like. It has a lot of presence, takes up a lot of area, and so I go ahead and drop it there. Now it's time to put in some of the smaller nature elements. Tall grass looks really good. I think unless you're going for an actual open area, just put tall grass everywhere and you can't really go wrong. I dropped down some flowers. I need to bring our grow Pokemon over later to actually grow these. We have our bred puppy come over and set up shop, so we know that's working. I do actually need that coughing item, and I don't pick it up, so that's unfortunate. I do once again place a sign here just to act as a wall. This is just to separate the area from the pathway. And the last thing is we're going to do one last visualization, make sure we like how the den looks, and everything is the way we want it. This next area took me a while to figure out exactly how I wanted it to look. It's supposed to be like a washing, cleanup area. I knew I was going to go for concrete, so I put that down first, fill in the grass. It took me a while, but I decided on these wooden poles to act as the backing for a shower, and then just drop next to it a sink and then a table with some cleanup supplies. And then on the other side, I go ahead and just drop 2 trash cans, a sign, and a trash bag, which makes it an environment. Overall, this area I think is fine. It's my least favorite of the areas, but it works, it's small, and you can house a Pokemon there. And now we're going to move on to the last area. This area is supposed to be a kids park, play park, along with a picnic area, somewhere you can drop off your kids and then on the side go ahead and have a little picnic with your partner. I switched once again back to the grass and sand from this area to keep the nature theme. I knew the slide was a great pickup, so I dropped down a slide and a sandbox, which ends up making an environment. And then I add a tire toy to fill it in. There's not too many toys I could find that fit play park, so those did a good job and they take up that whole area, so it should be fine. On the other side, I get to use more of our Hop It event items, so I'll use the table and 2 cushions. I just think it looks nice. It's a cute little setup along with the backpack for a picnic. And these juices, the juices in the bento might be my favorite items from the event. And that's all the items we're going to be placing down. And so the rest of this is just going to be bushes, trees, flowers, tall grass. So you can really do whatever you want. The main thing you're going to want to keep in mind is keeping the hard edges along the path to limit the entrances into this park to give it a more secluded feeling. So I just alternate some bushes, put down some flowers here. So you can go ahead and just enjoy a little montage of me placing all these plants down. Also keep in mind that that border will be fences, so you don't have to worry too much about those sides. Along if you want to put flowers, no one's going to be running over them. Not that that matters, but it matters if you think about it. Notice at the very end I have to go steal a tree because I ran out, and then we have that one space left next to our vending machines where I wanted a tree the whole time. I just didn't have one. finally we get to the last step, which is just putting a border around the whole build. For this one I found this harbor railing, something like that. I switched between a bunch of them. I think the stone railing also looks good here. But this is the one I chose in the end. So I just go ahead, do a full loop around the whole place. Then I use brick on the actual flooring because that's what's used throughout of League Beach. I also noticed this trick I found kind of way late, but you can do the 3x3 vertically, and then you kind of just use it as a long stick instead of a single block to increase your speed just a little bit. For a final touch, I go ahead and add these harbor lights to the corners to give it a little bit of lighting and atmosphere. And I also look for a spot inside where I can drop it down, and I choose kind of right in the center and end up getting rid of that bush and then just dropping down this light in the middle. And with that, we are finished up with our build. We'll do a little look around and final visualization of the den, but overall, this is the whole park. If you enjoyed it, let me know down below. I think I'm gonna try and continue doing some more of these builds. I like the 15x15 area. It's a good amount of space to set something up, and I think you'll be able to have a lot of different types of builds within it. I think the next one I might do is going to be some shops actually connected to this park. So if you are interested, let me know, and hopefully you'll check it out soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.